Pushing buttons.
Now.
Dave, am I good?
You're good.
All right, so here we go. Episode 16. We're here at Direct Line Media. Thanks to my buddy Dave. I am Eric Feeney, the founder of Friends of Feeney. It's a nonprofit. We help children and families that need assistance after heartbreak or tragedy. Welcome to our podcast. This is Feeney Talks with Friends. We talk with people in the community that are trying to do right. This is going to be a great episode. This is episode 16. It's got his driver's permit. Episode 16. Episode 15 was awesome. Brooke Daly, thank you so much. She is the vice president of Down syndrome for Connecticut, Fighters for Finn. I'm a big fan of Finn, Fighters for Finn. Also, shout out to Nala's Kitchen, episode 14. We had a fundraiser, and we'll talk about that. We raised over close to $150. We sold 7 or 8 meals. So thank you so much. But enough about that. Let's talk about episode 16. We're with WeHa Brewing. They hooked me up with some fresh gear. You guys know I love t-shirts. Love the font. Love the font. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Thank you so much for having us.
Cody, thank you so much. Cody, I owe you one. Cody hooked me up with coffee. That's why you're here. So the coffee fundraiser.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jill Lewis on Life of the Mountain magazine. You want to go into that?
Yeah, so Jill reached out. We wanted to do a specific coffee for Life on the Mountain magazine, kind of do something unique, kind of not the typical coffee blend. So we decided to take Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, which is one of the highest coveted coffees in the world, really. It's got a $50 per pound price point. It's really high priced coffee, and it's like something unique you really wouldn't see at your typical like a grocery store or you're kind of from a specialty coffee shop. So we came up with this blend from her, and we wanted to do something, give back to the community, not just make it about the money, kind of give some of the proceeds back to the community. So we decided, we're going to donate a portion of the proceeds from this blend that we came up with, put the Life on the Mountain brand on it, put our brand on it, and sell it. So we've been selling that since November. Sold about $500 worth of coffee so far. And we're continuing to sell it. So if you're interested in purchasing it, you can go to our online shop, WeHaBrewing.com /shop. And then, we also deliver locally for free in West Hartford. So it's really convenient. You just go on, purchase, and we'll deliver within a couple of days.
Yeah, I can't thank you enough. That means a lot when Jill thought of Friends of Feeney, because we help the West Hartford community. She was really looking for the West Hartford community. And I can't thank you enough for the collaboration. We sold about 15 bags. Yeah. We're continuing to sell. Go ahead and get your Life on the Mountain coffee. Check out episode 12. Episode 12, I had the bag. I was drinking it. It was delicious. Dave, my man, Dave, I kind of dropped the ball. I didn't bring it today. I couldn't find it. Running around, teacher life. Dave will cut in the portion of episode 12 in, because he's got skills like that. You'll see it. And I can't wait. But it's delicious, and it's for a good cause. Life on the Mountain. Thanks again, Jill Lewis. Thank you, Cody. This is WeHa Coffee. Life on the Mountain blend. This is Cody. Cody's a wonderful person, also cares for the community. All proceeds on this sale go to Friends of Feeney. I cannot thank Cody enough for doing that. Cody can be reached at WeHaBrewing.com. You could also email him at info@WeHaBrewing.com. They have so many cool blends. Blue Black blend, the center blend. This is, check this out. Let's watch this. This is a little sweetness, a little bitterness, a little hoppy, a little citrus, like King Julius or Sea Hag. No, I'm kidding.
Sounds like you're drinking coffee on the mountain.
This here, sponsored from Life on the Mountain. Go see Cody. WeHa and Roasting. Thank you so much. And let's talk about that website. That website's sharp.
Yeah.
I checked it out again today. I ordered there a few times. The pictures are so clear and crisp. Can we talk about the website?
Yeah. So right now it's really focused on the coffee side of the business, because we're not open as to brew beer right now. So really, I launched that a little over a year ago, so January of last year, literally right before the pandemic started. I launched this business. I was like, we're not ready to build out the brewery yet. Let's get the coffee going. So I've been roasting coffee in my house, selling online. As I said before, free delivery to West Hartford residents, and it's pretty much where 90% of...
Aren't you with the Modern Milkman too?
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I saw that.
In addition to, selling through our website, we have a few other avenues that we sell through. So Modern Milkman, we're add-on there. So you have your weekly subscription, you want to add on a bag of coffee every week, you can add our coffee on.
Yeah, how'd you hook up with Milkman?
Yeah, so I just reached out to them. I was like, this is great. You want to support local businesses. All your products are fresh and local, and that's really what we are. We're all about local, and we're all about fresh. So our coffee's roasted to order, so it's super fresh. Like you order, we roast the next day and then deliver the day after. So you can't really get any fresher coffee. It's compared to something you might get at the grocery store that's been sitting there for 30 days, 60 days.
Right on the back.
Yeah, we have the dates right on the back, so you know exactly when it's been roasted. It hasn't been sitting there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I gifted a few out, so I made sure, like, this is fresh.
Yeah.
I pointed it out to my buddy, Jeff Brand, FYI, who it was. And I'm like, you drink coffee? Do you have the press? Because you need a certain type of coffee machine.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll grind it up for you. If you don't have a grinder at home, we'll grind it up for you. So if you say you do a pour over or you do a French press, we'll grind it up for you, depending on how you use whatever you use at home. But yeah, we also offer whole bean as well. If you are,
Nice.
if you do have a grinder at home, yeah.
No, it's so great. And then, again, we can't forget that it's brewing and roasting. What's up, Will?
What's going on?
You want to talk about the brewing side of this?
Yeah, so we're getting ready to get that underway. We're still kind of in the build out phase, getting everything all locked in. We're gonna be working with a 7-barrel steam brew house. It's really efficient. So we're really starting to try to play around and bring the coffee aspects and include them in the beer. We're going to be doing things that we've never really done before in the beer world. We're going to be pushing the envelope and seeing how we can encompass all the coffee and just get it involved in the beer process and do things a little different. We're playing around with like a latte IPA kind of recipe right now, just kind of doing some interesting stuff and trying to push that envelope. So pretty excited.
Nice. What got you in the brewing?
I got to tell you. So
you got the brewer look.
This is it's the beer. When we were so this is probably not the greatest story to tell, but I'm going to go ahead and go for it anyway. So my friends and I, about the age of 17, 18, realized that you didn't need to be 21 to purchase the ingredients to make alcohol.
Okay.
So we spotted about the age of 18 or so. I'll say it was 18. We figured out that we could go to a local homebrew shop, buy the grain, buy the hops, buy the malt, buy the yeast, do all this stuff, and we made terrible beer on my best friend's stovetop. It tasted absolutely awful, but it got the job done. It was alcohol, and by about the second batch, I had totally pivoted my whole life. I wanted to be a history professor. I knew that I wanted to teach history. I wanted to be on the collegiate level. Like I had my life figured out. Made a couple batches of beer on my buddy's stove. Went, nope, this is where I'm going to go. So we totally pivoted directions and started pursuing it at that level. About 2009, 2010. I just couldn't get enough information, started getting into any classes that would take me, reading about it online, getting on the internet, and then really just getting immersed in that culture. So it's been left a career job to go work as a package stock boy, making $9 an hour at the time, just to get myself totally immersed into that industry and be part of it. So it's
amazing. Yeah, that's cool. Cool story. You got to start somewhere,
Absolutely.
And then you're building up, and you now guys together want to talk about how that collaboration happened.
It's a good question. It kind of happened naturally over the course of about the last year and a half, I'd say.
Yeah, it's been a year and a half probably, yeah.
So I've been in the commercial beer game now for a little while. Worked at some cool breweries, around the New England area, and I kind of took a backseat side because I knew I wanted to open my own thing. In 2018 or so, I kind of knew that was the direction that I wanted to go. Didn't know how I was going to do it, but I kind of wanted to, so I just dialed back. And Cody had developed the business plan for WeHa Brewing, and I was pretty selective of like opportunities that I was looking for. I found online he had posted, and we kind of got talking with each other. And it was funny. So we met in Suffield, Connecticut.
Yeah.
I live in Massachusetts, so I was born and raised in Connecticut, but I live in Mass. And we kind of met in Suffield. It was kind of a crossroads of where we could meet. And we talked, had a good rapport, had a great experience. And then things kind of drifted on their own, and I was going my way, Cody was going his way, and we kind of like lost the direction for a little bit. And I would say a couple months after that, we had got together with kind of trying to develop a little bit of a recipe, kind of helping at the time the guy you were working with develop a little bit of a recipe so that they would have a New England style IPA or what was contemporary. And we got together, started working, and we realized we had a really good working relationship, that maybe this was something that the two of us should pursue a little further, and make it a little more formal. I knew that's something that I wanted to do, and he had presented the opportunity to me to be able to do that. and get a really good quality product to everyone. We were really excited to be able to work together, and neither of us are willing to compromise on quality. We both love the idea of working together in a local level, and it was something I think we'll be able to push kind of to the boundaries of where we both are creatively, with coffee, with the beer, with all of it, and it just the relationship works really well.
Is that a common combo, beer and coffee at a same spot?
I would say within the last few years, it's been you'll see like Treehouse does it. You'll see
Treehouse does it.
Night Shift. They started roasting their own coffee, but yeah, it's really a new thing. I mean, when I developed this 3 years ago, really nobody was doing it, and I thought it was like a novel concept. Like, I'm gonna create this space. Like, it's not a traditional tap room. Like, you have this space. You're not open just 4 days a week for 5-6 hours. You're open every day, and you're using this space as a coffee shop in the morning, doing everything in house, roasting your own coffee, and then at night you got your tap room space that you're using to serve your beer made in house.
It was a great. Honestly, one of the attractive features of this is that he had posted that the coffee was going to be an aspect of it that we were going to do. And when we were talking, like, he had said that this is going to be like a cafe in the morning. This is going to be a place where people who are trying to get some work done, in their professional lives, can get together. And this is a great meeting point for them to be involved in the cafe, the coffee side of it. And I think that's it was pretty innovative. Like you said, it's always a matter of timing. You're usually ahead of the curve on your concepts. It's just a matter of when you can execute things.
Ronnie from WeHa.com put out a nice pub press. You want to talk about your new spot on Shield Street?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
congratulations, by the way. That's really cool.
Thank you. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, so we just signed the lease in March. It's 141 Shield Street. Really, we like this area, especially the area like where we are right now, the New Park corridor, New Britain Ave area. It's really up and coming. The town's investing money in it, and developers are investing money into it. The Acme building just got knocked down. They're putting up apartments, so people are coming here. People are coming to live, and people are coming to have experiences. So we really like the area. It's definitely up and coming.
Got the fast track.
Yeah, the fast track's right there. So
it's crazy to watch because you're seeing all of these environments thrive. Like we look at this like we're in the middle of the pandemic. We're at the tail end of it now, but there's been a lot of like neutral negativity with it. I mean, everyone knows what your neighborhood business is going to do tomorrow. Yeah. And here we are trying to open this space in the middle of it. Yeah. And there's something really positive to be said about that. That we're persevering and pushing through. And I think between that and then, like you said, the community is thriving and growing in the area that we're able to kind of be a part of that. So
we really want to. For this to be a space outside of just the center and Blueback, right? Like, we want people to talk about like the New Park corridor and say like, we came here for the day to experience it, and like we're going to the food truck park, and then we're going to the brewery after, and like we're here for the day, and we're staying because we have all these unique and fun experiences that you may not get in the center or you might not get in Blueback. So it's creating that space outside of that really is very unique in its own, and you won't really get that anywhere else.
No, that's really cool. Yeah. I'm on this side of town too, so I appreciate that, and I look forward to it. So, how's the parking? Parking?
Yeah, there's a lot of shopping plazas around there, and
nice.
We have about 20 spaces on site. And
so, if you want to, the president of the the design district, you know that guy?
Yeah, I do.
My man Dave from Direct Line Media is the president of the.
Yo, Dave, hook us up.
I know a guy. I'll hook him up. That's my guy Dave right there. Go see Dave.
Yeah, so it's just really cool time to be a part of this.
Big kudos. I give you a lot of credit. I love the font too. Can we talk about the font? Where's the idea from the font?
Oh, I love it. I was so happy with how this ended up.
Yeah. So we actually work with the New Park Creative, which is really right down the street from here. I'm right on New Park Ave. They're a local branding, like local.
Yeah, where about is that?
It's on New Park, almost. It's pretty much. I think it's technically in Hartford, but
which direction? Oh, that way. Okay.
Towards. It's almost like right across from like co-working.
Yep. All right.
Up there, that like more towards
great
Hartford.
Work on the font.
Yeah, they did a great job. We've been working with them. They were obviously
the cursive. That's cool.
We want to use a local business. Yeah, we kind of
the
process.
I was just saying we went through a few versions,
iterations,
and iterations of it, and it was cool to like really see this kind of come together. We were both super excited to see the final product.
So you guys are like going through the process. If you were to mentor someone in your shoes going through this process, what are the top 3 things that you think you should work on? Top 3.
I mean, it always comes down to the money. So that's the first thing I'm going to bring
obviously,
to you.
Yeah.
Find the money.
Yeah. Come up with your budget and then double it, because even triple it, because it's going to cost you a lot more than you'd ever expect.
Okay.
You're going to find things during construction. You're going to we got lucky that we found used equipment that we like and
from good people.
Yeah, from good people.
That we like.
People are local,
willing to work with us on it.
Yeah.
Oh, like the brewing.
The actual equipment. Yeah.
What's that called?
Brew house.
Yeah, brew house. Yeah.
Got it. Brew house.
Yeah.
So
Oh, nice.
I would definitely say.
So that's one, money. Cash is king.
Make sure your business plan is thorough.
Okay.
Make sure every aspect. Think of things that you know. If you think you've got it, you think you've got it dialed in, and every angle covered, look over it 10 more times because there's going to be something that you've missed. Whether that for us, cooler space, whether it be, how big the handicap ramp is to access the building, whatever you think you have on that business plan, look it over
So
again.
attention to detail. Organization and planning.
Yeah,
Right, sure.
we definitely didn't have COVID in our business plan.
No.
So it's like, you just roll with the punches.
But you
and
fought through it, and
yeah.
extra kudos for making it
Coming up
happen.
on
That's
it. I'm
awesome.
Pretty excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another thing too is another big one is there's so many opportunities to work with people. Be selective. Work with the right people. Make sure that they're people who are as invested in what you're doing as what you're pursuing. Find the valuable relationships. Don't take any relationship or opportunity that comes your way, but find the ones that mean something. That they have a vested interest in what you're doing. They're going to work for the same quality that you're trying to pursue. We've been fortunate enough where we kind of have that a little bit. We have a great community. Even with the beers that we're doing, the collaboration wise. Find people who want to see you succeed as much as themselves.
That's a great point, and I can really relate that as a nonprofit organization that I met through the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce. I pretty much shout them out every time. There are businesses that want to do right for the community. I've never told anyone no, but I kind of hear them out and want to know their interests, their motivation, and what can they bring forth, and why is a very important question.
The symbiotic aspect of the relationship is so important, and it's not even the give and take aspect. They want to do right by you.
Yeah.
They want to do right by you, and you want to do right by them, and these relationships. These are sometimes relationships that last you 25, 30, 40, 50 years in some cases. I think that is so important, and I think oftentimes it gets lost. That gets lost in translation. You get to a point where it becomes all about the business, and you kind of forget where you came from and where you built up. And for us in particular, I think it's really important here locally that we create a real sense of community that who we're working with and why we chose this guy to work on this project. But he's right here. He's in touch with what's going on in West Hartford, in Connecticut locally. Our friends who are in this industry, like Skyline Beer Company, they care about what we're doing product wise. They're not just going to they're not going to accept anything substandard. Yeah. So it causes us to drive ourselves one step further and to be a little higher in the way we pursue things. So
you push each other to be better.
Exactly.
And, hold each other to a higher standard.
Precisely.
Yeah. That's cool that you're coming from different, backgrounds. I guess not backgrounds, but specialties.
Yep. Absolutely.
And you're gonna hold each other accountable, and
I think that's great. Even the two of us hold each other accountable, which has been great. I'm a typical, type A, really I'll say the artistic, I'm a dog chasing a ball, man. I'll take every opportunity I can get, and sometimes I need someone like Cody, whoa, man, maybe this isn't the ball. That's the highway. You don't want to pursue that ball across the highway.
What's it going to cost us?
So even the two of us, we have a really good checks and balances where, the relationship works really well. So
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about the bear right in front of you? I think that's
we can. It's kind of a little different, a little off the beaten trail a little bit. We see a lot of New England style IPAs these days. We probably got more beer for you for sure. So we talk about New England style IPAs. They're the real forefront of where the beer industry is. They're easy drinking. They're hoppy. They're juicy. They're very palatable for pretty much everyone across the board. Not technically. So the style of beer that we did. So Dana and Lisa, they're one of the co-owners of Skyline, or the co-owners of Skyline with Dan, their chef. We wanted to do something that really nobody is doing anymore. So commercially, myself and Dana had neither of us had done what was called the steam beer or California Common. It's an all but extinct style of beer. So we wanted to do something that wasn't something that everyone else was doing. So the style of beer kind of originates in the gold rush era of the westward expansion. at that time, everyone in America was drinking lager. Everything was, cold fermented and easy drinking and all that stuff. When you started to get towards California, they didn't have the capacity to do that anymore. It was temperature flux was too all over the place. So the style of beer is kind of like a lager ale hybrid, which is, if you're not familiar, like ale beers are fermented at a much higher temperature, and lagers are generally fermented at a colder temperature. So this is kind of a marriage of the two of them, because they couldn't control the temperature. It's a lager yeast fermented at a warmer temperature that tolerates a warmer temperature than normal. So it has a lot of that crisp, easy drinking characteristics of a lager that you wouldn't find in somebody else. Ales tend to be a little sharper, a little more bitter, a little more going on there. So the style, like I said, it has all but gone extinct. So we kind of were like, well, neither of us have ever done that before. That's a little curious. So we spent a couple of weeks developing a recipe and a process and getting together. And the collaborative aspect of this is so great because you're pushing each other to be better and to really understand what you're getting in the can, at that point.
Do you want to shout out anybody from Steamroller?
Oh,
or Skyline?
Definitely. Lisa, Dana, my buddy Gary, Sean, Uncle Ken, and we have our assistant who's working with us, Tate.
Would you consider them a good friend?
All of them are really they've become good friends, especially over the process. So they opened their brewery about a year ago, right at the peak of like this stuff going on. They opened in January for taproom sales and cans and so on, and in the middle of February, March, they had to shut their taproom down to this brand new brewery that they had just opened. And they were, and honestly, one of the best at adapting to this. They handled everything in stride. They were able to get outdoor seating approved and built over the course of a couple of months. They did great numbers to go sales. They really.
Where are they
pivoted.
located?
They're in Southwick, Westfield, Mass. They're on. I think it's 98. It's on there somewhere. I should know this off the top of my head. Skyline Beer Company. It's 98 Southwick Road in Westfield.
Cool.
Don't
right
hold
over
me
the
to
border,
that,
right? It's 5 minutes over the Connecticut border.
It's 5 minutes over the Connecticut border. Highly recommend them. The people are as genuine as they come in the industry, and like I said, I've known them for a few years now, and they've become some of the closest friends that I've made in the industry, and they're super supportive of what we're doing. We're already talking about some things to play around with and moving on to the next beer.
We got to get a Friends of Feeney Be a Good Friend beer or something.
Hey man, we could definitely make that happen.
Doing the coffee. Cody looks out for the coffee. Come on, Will.
Bring you in for a brew day,
Yeah. I'm like,
what's your favorite style
taste
of
a
drink?
bunch. I like Sea Hag and Sip of Sunshine.
We got you. We could do something in that vein.
And then change it up a little bit.
Every time we
West
could play
Coast.
around with it,
All right.
Do a little fundraiser every year with it. Why not?
All right,
I'll
we're in.
support that
I
decision.
can't wait. I knew this was worth it.
I like what you think.
Not only did I get a nice little history lesson, I appreciate that, where
course.
ales and lagers, never knew that.
Yeah,
so thank you for that.
It's
As a
kind of
teacher, lifelong learner, I need to learn something.
It's
So thank
exciting
you.
for me. It's like it's one of those things that's forgotten about a little bit. We kind of focus on. There's like 3 popular beer styles right now. There's IPAs, kettle sours, and big bold crazy stouts with all these crazy flavorings. We got like a vast number of brew styles that have kind of been forgotten about in that meantime. And I'm just old enough to remember when the craft beer thing started really taking off. And while IPA was always at the forefront for most of it, it was definitely not the only style. And I think we've kind of gotten to the point where, if we can get people more interested in these styles that are kind of
when do you think the IPA kicked in? I want to get your time frame because I'm
your
not
time
sure.
frame, I would say somewhere probably about 2004, give or take. That's, I think, is when it started, and it was more on the West Coast than here. You had these breweries. There's a brewery out there. I can't believe I'm blanking on the name. Russian River. Thank you. Pliny the Elder. It was really like sought after. You had to fly out there, wait in line at the brewery to pick it up. It was a real experience to get the beer. And then they had this other beer, Pliny the Younger, which good luck getting that. You were waiting in line and you were going to be there for forever. And they only did it by the growler fill, and it was one little growler per person. And you were wasting your time, but you had to go wait in line anyway and told that it sold out. And that, I think, started this whole trickle down effect. Then you had Hetty Topper, was a really big one in Vermont. That was, I think, about 2006, 2007. Maybe a little earlier than that. I can't quite remember the timeline. Then you have Hill Farmstead, Treehouse, and Trillium, and all these beers. And I think the little trinity in New England here, you had Hill Farmstead, Treehouse, and Trillium. They maybe unbeknownst to themselves, really crafted this New England style IPA, this very sessionable, low bitter, very fruit forward IPAs that were very palatable. And I think, honestly, Hill Farmstead and Alchemist were probably the two pioneers for that. And then Treehouse and Trillium kind of, ran off that. And at that point, it was so different from what was happening with IPA, because IPAs traditionally were bitter. Some had a little malt presence, so they called them West Coast IPAs. Within a matter of 4 or 5 years, the whole category has been expanded, 10 times of what it had been. Now there's milkshake IPAs and sour IPAs and all these different
glitter
IPAs and all these subcategories.
What's that? Glitter.
It's a thing.
It's like an edible glitter that people put in it. Like your beer is like glitter.
It really has glitter in it.
Actual glitter.
People
so
drink
pour it in, throw a little light on it, and get a little reflection.
That was like Goldschlager. That was the thing. There's
Oh,
gold
man.
flakes in it. It's awesome.
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't know about you guys. When I was a kid, I thought about Goldschlager going, how much money in gold am I drinking? What's this worth to me? No, but I think it was really the evolution happened very quickly, and within that time frame, the chemistry and the science has become more apparent as far as the information that we're learning, how to push hops, how to do them in a different way that we, literally 10, 15 years ago, we would have never been able to comprehend what's going on right now. There's just so much more information, and we're pushing things beyond to a positive way. As much as I love New England style IPAs, they're still probably my favorite style to drink. But there's an element that we've moved beyond this. That maybe there's other styles that we could be bringing back. The Pilsner has been making a real comeback over the last couple of years. So we're really, the craft beer world is constantly in flux, man. If you think something's like really on top of the market and it's great and this is what you need, we're wait 5 more minutes and somebody will do something even crazier.
Yeah.
There's a brewery out in the Scandinavian countries that they're putting hamburgers and hamburger buns and French fries in their beer.
Yeah.
Why? Because they can. So I think it's one of those things. How far do you push this adventure?
No limits, really.
And I'm sure there's a comparable connection to coffee, right? With the different styles and types and what's coming back and what's in and out.
No, yeah, it's definitely. I think it's definitely behind craft beer in terms of like popularity. I think when I was going through this, like I think specialty coffee is like going to be one of the next bigger things. I don't think it'll be as big as like the craft beer boom, but if people are starting to really like recognize it and be like, oh, coffee can taste like this. I don't need to add boatloads of cream, boatloads of sugar
to
my coffee.
Prior to meeting this guy, I was dark roast, coffee drinker. Bigger or bolder is better, right? Yeah. No, I was so wrong. I was so wrong. He's like, try this light roast coffee. It's going to taste like citrus and I'm like, you're full of it, man. It's going to taste like coffee. It's
What's your favorite on the menu?
That's a tough question.
Or your top 3?
Well, here's the thing. Right now, we're playing around.
Chef,
We're playing around with some bourbon barrel aged coffees.
Yeah,
that's kind of been my jam right now.
I think I tried that at the Mark Twain fundraiser.
Oh yeah, we had
Mark
it there.
Twain. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
So
get that going again. Will that be down at Shield Street?
We'll definitely. Yeah, we're working with a local bourbon company. They're based out of West. They're not based.
You know
out of
who
West
likes
Hartford,
bourbon? The president of the design district. He'll be your number one customer.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really how coffee is starting to be more like beer and pushing the boundaries. Like we're going to age coffee in bourbon barrels, we're going to age coffee in tequila barrels, and then roast it. So you get flavors of bourbon, you get flavors of tequila, and how that really comes together. So it's really like it doesn't just have to be dark bitter coffee that you get just drink to get the caffeine, right? Like just get the energy. Yeah. But it's really about the flavor, right? The flavor of natural bean, the flavor of something you age it in, right? It's
what's cool about it is we're learning about the compounds, the flavor compounds, and how this works in a beer environment. And it's one of those things like when you're a kid and you're learning chemistry, you don't pay any attention to any of this. It's just annoying. You want to take your test and be done. And then you start learning all these different flavor compounds and how they work and how they summarize in the beer or coffee and the coffee itself, and it changes your whole perspective. All of a sudden, all you're doing is looking at how to blend these different flavors together, and it's really quite.
There is a big chemistry, obviously,
on both
sides of it. Yeah.
Do you have a background in chemistry, or
I have a little bit? I have a little bit of one. Pursued higher education for it, but specifically for brewing. So. It's one of those things that there's always more to learn the moment you think you've learned it all.
All right, it's a good segue to my next question. Is there a teacher that inspired you to, just not even for your passion now, just a teacher looking back, elementary, middle, high?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's actually like ties in with what I do for my day job. My accounting teacher in high school, she pushed me, and she recognized that I was good at something and pushed me to kind of pursue that further. So she like lifted me up from just like, noticed in my work and what she was teaching me that I was good at accounting, and like had like kind of, because for accounting you either get it or you have no idea. So she's like, this kid.
What school system?
Berlin.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's her name? You want to shout her out?
Yeah, Miss Wickland.
Mrs. Wickland.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for teaching me numbers. That means I don't have to.
So you'll handle all the business aspect of this entire operation too.
So
Got it.
Yeah, the bookkeeping, the
real
business
brains,
operations,
the
the finances, all of it. Yeah.
The fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
For me, I'd have to say there's a couple. The first one that comes to mind, even though he may not know it, there's a gentleman by the name of John Geraci. He was the brewer for Amherst Brewing Company in Mass. He is now moved on and is in the process of starting his own thing. The one thing I always valued about him is he was always, what I felt, very honest and very critical of what you're doing. He would come in and he wouldn't pull the wool over your eyes. There's this patronizing aspect of this, where every beer you make is good, everything you do is perfect. No, he would tear you down. He'd give you a little constructive criticism and tell you what was going on. He's opening his own facility with a group of great guys called Loophole Brewing Services. Keep your eyes on Massachusetts. They're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff down there. And then I actually had a boss when I was a kid. I used to landscape for this guy when I was a kid. His name was Ray Perleone, and he was just a real tough kind of character. There was no mercy,
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, he used to mow grass or whatever, and I would be weed whacking with him. He would put leg weights on when he was mowing grass just to push his game up a little bit further, get a workout. So it kind of taught you the value of really, really busting yourself and working hard and really pursuing what you're going after. So those two were probably the two most predominant for me. Great people. So,
you got the numbers game and the hard work, just work ethic.
Exactly. And pursue it. Just pursue it. Keep going. If this is what you feel is the right angle for you and this is where you're going to be comfortable, pursue it at all costs. There's an element of this that we don't really talk about a lot of the time, is that there's a lot of personal sacrifice that goes into this. You're sacrificing time with your friends, family, significant others. All of this is, and it's you. If you're into this, you got to pursue it, and you got to pursue it 100%.
Are you going to stay in Mass? Or are you going to move a little closer?
When we get up and running, I'll be trying to relocate and get a little closer, and then not only that, just be more in touch with what's going on locally, and so I can be aware of what's going on here locally in our community. Like I said, I was born and raised in Connecticut, and I want to get back to that part of it. I grew up in Windsor Locks, Suffield, growing up.
Oh yeah, where'd you meet in Suffield?
Three Figs. Three Figs is really.
Is it a vegetarian spot?
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It was just.
Where is that? Because I'm in Suffield.
It's on Mountain Road. So if you're familiar with like where all like the fire station is and the little hardware store as you're going down, it's gonna be right on your right hand side, right past like the little food bag, gas station, all that kind of thing. Food's outstanding. Can't say enough about the food. But honestly, what drew us is they had a great little tap. They didn't have a ton of taps. They had maybe 6 or 8 taps, but what they had on was diverse and high quality.
Did they make their own there too?
They don't. But what they had on was stuff that you weren't going to see everywhere else. So really, really great spot.
And then another game I like to play. This will give you both time to think. So this is a game I learned from a storyteller. It's called First, Last, Best, Worst. So tell me your first and last coffee, your first and last beer, your best and worst coffee, your best and worst beer. We can mix it up and go either alternate, or you guys want to just
however you want to handle it. I got these.
That's
these
on
are
you.
Yeah, these are
because you know you messed around, not messed around, but you're creating
so many mistakes.
You're the Thomas Edison of beer.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go first on the coffee side of things. My first coffee was a Costa Rican honey processed. I actually wasn't really a fan of it, so I wouldn't say it was my worst, but yeah, it was one of my first. Didn't really, just starting off really roasting, didn't know much about it, didn't even really know what the processing method was at the time, because there's different processing methods and that changes how you roast the coffee, without getting into too much detail. But yeah, didn't really know much about the processing method, just went and roasted it, and really it just didn't come out good. It wasn't good flavor, really. So that was probably my first and probably the worst too. Kill two birds with one stone.
There you go.
I think my first was probably an amber beer. It was with these four friends, and we had to go to there was not many homebrew shops back in the day. We had to go to Northampton, Mass to get this, and it was an extract kit. So it all comes in this sack. And all you got to do is basically add it to boiling water, and that's it. Stir it around and throw some yeast in, and
done.
Should make beer, right? No, that was the first beer we did, and I think there was bottles exploding in my buddy's old pantry for a couple of weeks. That was the first.
Was it the worst though too?
The worst that we did. It was probably we did this pumpkin porter, still on the homebrew scale, and we had no idea what we were doing. So we went out and we were trying to brew it for Thanksgiving and all that type of thing. And so we got all these cans of pumpkin puree. Had no idea what we were doing. So we opened the cans and we just started dumping this stuff in, putting it on a cookie sheet, baking it because I don't know, it seemed like the right way to sanitize it. We had no idea what we were doing. There's some nutmeg and cinnamon in there. We opened those bottles up. I still think there's probably some in his basement. 10 years later. It was just not good beer. That was not good beer.
Was this when you were underage?
This is when this was the home.
I thought that's a brilliant idea because I was going to like a corner store.
Don't listen to us, guys. Bad influence.
and buying like $1 a beer, so we were like buying $30 packs.
Hey, yeah.
So they were making as much, twice as much money, or $5 40 ounces.
Once you learn that process, it doesn't
Could
have
be
to taste
making
good. It just has to get you the buck.
Could have been saving $1.
Yeah, so that was the first beer and the worst beer for sure. The last beer I made was actually this one we're drinking right now with
Nice.
Skyline.
Cheers to that.
Thank you.
Cheers,
guys.
cheers,
Yeah.
cheers. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
This is the lager / ale.
Correct. So it was fermented with lager yeast at ale temperatures, basically. And the best beer that I ever made, probably, I'd have to say, we did a beer. This is years ago. It was called Progressive 9. I was working for this brewery called Cold Creek in Ellington, Connecticut. I was recently the head brewer there, and at the time, there's this yeast strain that was called Sactois. It fermented really well at high temperatures, which is kind of uncommon with ale yeast. They generally have about a 10-degree temperature window that they work in. This particular one, you could ferment at 80, 90 degrees and have positive effects for it. At the time, nobody was really doing that. It's since kind of caught on, and like this was called Kveik yeast, and those types of things have kind of caught on, and they ferment at those high temperatures, and they create a real tropical, fruity aspect to the beer, depending on how to utilize it. So we did that, and it was funny. I had two friends, commercial brewers, that we did this, and they're like, "What are you doing, man? What are you doing?" I had read some article somewhere that this yeast worked, really well at high temperatures. It was known for these characteristics at high temperatures, and I said, "You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna give this a go." I think we fermented at like 90 degrees, which is unheard of. Generally speaking, 72, 76 is really the high end of that window, and degrees. So we fermented this beer at like 90 something degrees, and it was by far the boldest, fruitiest tropical IPA that I've made to date. It's my personal favorite. Whether it's the best or not, I'll let the customers
It's your best.
decide.
That's all that matters.
It's my personal. I think it would be the personal best. So
Very cool. Very
fun
cool.
beer.
You gonna bring that down to the shop? You got to bring that down.
I
All
already
right.
have it. Oh, it's gonna be there.
slap a be a good friend label on it. And call it a day.
Feeney Friends label, and we're good to go.
Yes.
So the last coffee I did was it's from Colombia, from Finca El Plan. We actually worked with an importer that's local in Glastonbury. He's from Colombia. He goes down a few times a year, works with the farmers down there, has really good relationships with them. And it's great to work with a importer that is local versus most importers are spread around the country. But so like
it was a really cool aspect of it. I remember you posting about it and seeing and reading about it. It was a really cool aspect to really get a more intimate feeling.
Yeah, you don't really find importers you're not going to find a coffee importer in Connecticut. So to find someone that's literally 2 towns over in Glastonbury, and like we worked with him, and he has great relationships with these farmers, which is really important to us. We, especially in coffee, like people get underpaid all the time. So ensuring that they're fairly compensated for their work, it's a very laborious process, coffee farming, and picking all the cherries and washing the cherries. It's a very laborious, so we want to make sure the farmers are fairly compensated and
yeah, that's important.
Pay those get paid well for obviously they're working. Most of them are family farms too, so this is their life, and they take pride in it, which is awesome. Kind of goes in hand in hand with what we're trying to do. So yeah, it was a Colombian coffee, washed coffee. So really super sweet, very very unique. And it's fresh because he only brings in the coffee when it's right after it's harvested. So it was just harvested a few months ago. So in terms of roasting, it was fresh, but also when it was actually picked and washed, it was fresh too. So it was really good coffee. Kind of surprised me when I cupped it. Cupping is essentially your practice of sampling coffees. So you come up with you can do it, but usually like three cups per sample. And you use like this slurping technique, so it gets across like your whole palate. So you're like,
Is it similar to wine?
But yeah, it's
As far as
similar.
like contact and all
Oh
the
yeah, come on,
aeration.
elaborate
Yeah.
on that. So you taste coffee
So
with a slurp.
Yeah, so the practice is called cupping. It's
Cupping.
really so you roast.
I think we just discovered the first name of our first coffee beer. We're just gonna call it Slurp.
slurp.
Sorry.
I like it.
Yeah, so it's really how you taste coffees, and it's usually in a group. I mean, obviously with COVID it hasn't happened, but it's usually in a group. So like, you'll have 10 people come and they'll all try coffees, and you'll all give your notes of like, oh, this is what I'm getting from this one, and this one. It's really your practice for how you decide which coffees you're gonna use.
Interesting.
And
I like
you grind it up. You put hot water in. You break the crust. So there's a crust that forms. You break it, and then you taste it, and you keep tasting it too. So like, you might taste the coffee when it's a certain temperature, but when it's 30 degrees cooled, it might give you a completely different flavor. So you want to test it, because people are gonna be drinking it at home, right? They're gonna be drinking it when it's really hot, and they're gonna also drink it when it's cold. So
Can I
taste it.
ask you a weird question? I don't know why I never thought of this before, but so they talk about water, you know, when you're actually doing the pour over and all that stuff, how the temperature matters and things. Can you play around with that? Is there a window that you can play around with? So if you're doing it at XY degrees, you're gonna get these notes. But if you want to get other notes,
so
you play around with.
it's like with cold brew essentially, right? You extract at a cold temperature, right? You're using cold water when you extract it, so it brings out a lot different flavors than if you using a hotter temperature.
It's cool.
So I mean, a temperature range for hot extraction is usually pretty within 200 degrees, 205 degrees. It doesn't really vary off, but there's other methods like cold brew and other methods.
And they do
used
make
for
a
cold.
considerable difference.
Very
on,
different.
yeah,
Like,
so that's
something can be
interesting.
great when it's hot, but as cold brew, it can be like bad.
See, this is the stuff I'm still
Yeah.
learning all this stuff as well.
So-
it's such a really interesting.
It's very science driven too, and like
No, I love learning about this. This is cool.
Your,
Cupping,
your
slurping.
ratios and everything. Yeah,
I want to get in a
We gotta get it.
10-man
I'll just
cupping
say.
slurping session. What do I got to learn to say? Like complexity.
so
body,
woody,
Bodies.
earthy,
yeah.
aromas of.
Acidity is a big one. Yeah,
Acidity,
So
it's a good
like,
one.
yeah, the higher altitude coffees are usually pretty acidic.
And then the
Um,
IPA is like hoppy,
Same
citrus.
idea. Body,
Dank.
mouthfeel, dank.
Dank.
If you learn the words
Yeah.
citrusy, pillowy,
I gotta write these down. Hold
mouthfeel,
on.
oh, you got this. You got to come up with like 10 phrases for the beer and 10 phrases for the coffee.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You're a freaking Cicerone. You're at the top level. You're in a
That's
fashionado. As long as you can make 10 good points.
There's like grapefruit pith.
Grapefruit. My favorite is like when they say like grapefruit pith or rind. It's like there's like such a drastic difference between like all these like subtle the flesh of the fruit, and it's like okay.
Oh, they know
you
the difference if there's the flesh of the fruit or the rind.
There are guys.
Oh, come on,
dude. There are guys who are so good at this that they're well beyond my capabilities. They can tell like where the growing locations were for certain things. There's some really talented individuals out there. There's like 6 of them, but they're out there.
Yeah,
Do you spin it like a wine glass too?
With the
Get
beer
it
for
going?
sure.
The beer, yeah,
with the
we
beer
definitely
for
sniff
sure.
it, yeah.
Aeration's a big part of it. In particular, something like an IPA because it's
Yeah.
very based on its aromatics.
Okay.
Especially the New England styles. There's I'll call them 2 families of acid in hops. There's alpha acids, which is a lot of your bittering components to it. And then there's your beta acids, which is a lot more of your aromas, your flavor, that kind of thing. So where you add that in the process is really where you extract those acids. So earlier in the boil, you're going to get more alpha acids, the bitter component. It's also the preservative aspect of the hops for the beer, so it kind of shelf stabilizes things. Where the beta acids are going to be much more of your aroma and your flavor, and that's where you're going to get a lot of your fun. You know, if you're cracking a New England style IPA, you're pouring a glass. Let that swish around for a few minutes, and even come back to it 5 or 10 minutes later. You're going to smell something totally different. So
All right.
it's good.
That's why they have those cute little
tulip glasses
sifter
there.
glasses.
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
Is it a sifter or a tulip?
Depends. It depends. You could be tulips, snifters. There's about.
Is it just because I always thought it's just the IPA's more alcohol per volume, so they're giving you less, or
So
is it because
it's actually the shape of the glass? It's actually really the shape of the glass that it actually like bulbs and narrows, and with what's called a tulip glass, it's basically a snifter, but it comes coming up and then it opens up again at the tip. That just kind of allows you to be able to perceive a few more aromas and the aroma is so important to what you're going to taste. For that style of beer and a few others, you have imperial style.
And what's the optimum holding container for a coffee? Is it a mug? Is it a Yeti? Is it
Yeah, I mean,
a styrofoam cup?
It's really it's really personal preference. Like, it's more of a temperature thing, right? Like some materials hold temperature better. Like we sell our like reusable mugs, and those things will keep the coffee hot
all
for,
day.
Yeah,
all day.
Yeah, 4 or 5 hours. Like they'll keep it hot. So it really just depends on your preference. Like some people love coffee like super hot, like burns your mouth. Some people, I mean, I'm more of like a
my wife orders it extra hot. I'm like, what are you talking about?
just
I
burn your
don't
mouth.
even get it.
Boiling
It
water.
doesn't even make sense. I get a sticker. I hate to say this. Should I say this? But my wife ordered from Starbucks. Is that a bad word? Is that a bad word?
I mean, they're the pioneers. It's like, you can't really.
And it's extra hot, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like how? And it's literally have to wait like 5 or 10 minutes before I can drink it because I made the mistake.
Yep.
I lost the tip of my tongue for 2 weeks.
I bet you they do something to it. They got to put like some immersive,
Yeah.
To get it
heating
extra
coil
hot.
or
It's weird.
something. Yeah, I can't even.
Yeah,
I don't know. I have no idea.
If you brewed it at that temperature, you would ruin it. So
Yeah.
Did you guys all hit on your best, worst, first, last? You covered them.
I definitely got my I got my first, last, and my
best. I didn't do my best coffee.
Let's hear it. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly it was
Life in the
actually
mountain. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it's
Friends of
really-
Feeney, $30. Order it.
I mean, my best is probably the Ethiopia Yirgacheffe was probably my second or third coffee.
That I remember
Yeah.
that blend. That was freaking fantastic. Yeah.
It tasted like you're just throwing a handful of blueberries into your
I was
mouth.
just about
Like,
to say.
Wow.
It's had to do with the processing method, the natural processing method. So the way they dry the coffee after it's picked, it stays in the fruit. So they come as cherries, and depending on the different processing, some wash it off and then dry it. For naturals, they keep it on and then they dry it. So you get a lot of that fruit flavor from the cherry. So you get a lot of those components when you roast the coffee. So it was straight up like just blueberry, and it was amazing.
Saying that. I remember you saying that like there ain't gonna be no blueberry. It's freaking coffee. It's gonna taste like dirt.
Wow.
Totally wrong.
Blueberry coffee.
I was totally wrong.
Is that going to be on Shield Street?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Come
definitely.
on.
Yeah,
All right.
It's
so
really
good.
it's one of the coffees that
We got people out there salivating. Let's go. Blueberry coffee, and what was the one? The drink.
For the beers, it was called Progressive 9.
Yep.
It was a Mosaic Amarillo IPA fermented with a Sactois yeast strain. It was just straight up tropical fruit. It was
Sounds
so
delicious.
good. So
Yeah.
good.
And speaking of Shield Street, you're doing this fun little thing. I'm really interested in like. You buy a glass or a mug, and you're in the club, and you get discounts on gear, and then you get a free drink every time.
Yeah.
Can you want to elaborate? Because I'm interested, and I'm
Yeah.
sure people out there are interested.
So we have a few clubs actually. So we got the coffee club, and then we got the mug club and the growler club, which is for beer, but you can also use the growler club for cold brew as well. But the coffee club is you pay up front for the year, and you get discounts every time you come in. So $1 off your pour, and then you also get perks. So you get access to any exclusive events. So if there's like a beer release, or if there's like a coffee education class, you get the first kind of shot at it. And then any new releases are kind of one-offs. Like our bourbon barrel aged coffee that we release and sells out within hours, you'd get first access to that before anyone else, before the public.
No, I had the last tasting, the last little shot glass at that Mark Twain place because it went so fast.
Dude,
it was
it's so
delicious.
good. It's so good. It's one of those ones that's like it's almost pre-sold before it's even made. These guys are like,
So Frugal Feeney's thinking, how if someone were to be frugal, not this guy right here, but I pay the $100, how many times do I have to visit to kind of make my money back, or what do I need to do?
Yeah.
Do I have to go down and order 100 coffees to,
make your
get
money
that
back?
$1 off?
on the beer side
Order
of
some
it,
gear.
it's not all that much. It's not all that much.
Especially the growler fills. If you the growler fills during the week,
Are
or
those $2 off?
during the week is $4 off,
Ooh,
$2 on the weekend.
okay.
So
All right.
I mean, on a growler fill, if you're coming in every week and
2
filling a
months,
growler,
maybe.
you're making your money
Within-
back pretty back.
Yeah,
pretty
2
quick.
months
Yeah.
is the stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quick.
So the same person can be in the coffee club and the beer club.
Yeah, you can do
At
whatever
that
you want,
at
yeah.
that point, we do have a combination.
Oh,
Buy them all.
is that the
club.
VIP? What's that one
Yeah.
called?
So all the clubs, yeah.
Yeah,
So
all
you
the
can get-
clubs.
Yeah, you can get
And what's
mug-
that? How
mug
much is
club.
that?
That one is 700, I believe. So yeah, you get the
And it's an
Growler Club.
annual thing.
Yeah, so so this is through the MainVest platform, so
Yep.
it's a little bit higher than what our annual membership would be because you're getting the benefit of the MainVest campaigns.
Yep.
Which
What's
is
MainVest?
so
Explain that.
So essentially, it's a crowdfunding platform. It's not like your typical reward-based crowdfunding platform. So you contribute and you get a revenue sharing note, and what that revenue sharing note is you're entitled to a percentage of our profits or our revenue.
So you would get money back at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Oh wow.
So say you did the mug club for $300. Based on our return, you'll get paid back $350 at the end of it, but you're also getting the mug club on top of that.
So
So
you're
you're
making
getting
$50
benefit, yeah.
plus the membership for the month.
And all the
Yeah.
deals and the $1 off and the
Correct.
$4
Yeah.
off.
So you're tied into our revenue. So until you get paid back over the 6-year period, it could be earlier, it could be later, depending on our revenue and if we meet our
Now,
goals or
Can I
don't
ask
meet our
how are
goals.
you doing with the memberships and the sign-ins?
We're doing pretty good so far.
Slightly over halfway there.
We just launched. I think it's been 2 weeks maybe.
Are you looking for a certain number and then there's
Yeah.
a cutoff?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, we'll take whatever you want to give it. Send us our way. We'll take it. But
I like this guy.
we have a minimal number that we're trying to hit, and if we go beyond that, we're not going to be upset either. I don't think. So
Very interesting.
We're
I
close.
like it.
We're a little over halfway there, so we're hoping.
The last time I heard of something like this, the half door,
Mm-hmm.
you get a mug and you go around the world and you try to you get like a passport.
So no,
you
we're not going to
drink
try to
all the
get
beer.
you annihilated or anything like that. So I used to manage a bar way back in the day that had something like 180 beers, and if you drank 180 beers in a year's time, you got this mug club
t-shirt or
membership.
something,
And
yeah.
you're like, we're not trying to get you like blazed, coming and see us. No, it's nothing like that. Once you're in, you're in. You don't have to really push that envelope too far. You come in and drink at your leisure.
Yeah.
We're not going to.
And then like odds are you'll get the $300 investment, you'll get it back, and then
Within
the
a couple
odds are
months.
the expectation is that person will reinvest for the following year.
Yeah, you
or-
get-
We're
Yeah,
hoping
yeah, so
you'll
you-
have first access to the next sign up. So it's an
You get
annual membership.
discounted too, so it's not the $300. It's going to probably be closer to $150. So
Yeah.
you get a discount. It's not the $300
because you already invested
you're
once.
already
Correct.
you're already in. So then it'll be $150 for.
I know there's people out there doing math.
And there's
You're an
there's
accountant teacher. All these
there's
accountants
some real
are doing
potential
math
there.
out
There's
there.
nothing set in stone yet. We don't have a layup, but it could be access to events. It could be one-on-one discussions with us about some engagement with coffee
Yeah.
train. There's no real. We're trying to create a community here, so there's no real limits to what this can actually.
Do you
be
have
for you.
plans on doing like tours and
yeah.
classes?
Classes are on the coffee side
Coffee,
for
yeah, we'll
sure.
definitely be doing it.
The brewing side's a little more difficult just because of the scale that we're doing. If we were to have, which we're looking at getting what's called a pilot system now, a smaller scale system, that would be something that would be worth pursuing in the future, or even if not with us directly, we could definitely hook you up. We're not shy with our information. If you have any questions about the brewing process or want to be involved, there's ample opportunity for you to come and kind of engage with us.
And you said events. Do you have a spot that you can set up music?
Yeah. So
Nice.
we have a private event room in our building.
Are you going to have room maybe like run like a fundraiser?
Yeah,
Like for a
definitely,
nonprofit?
yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
A Feeney Friends.
Yeah, like
No, definitely. We've got the space where we're talking about trying to find some outdoor seating now and see if that's going to be in the cards for us this year. And so we've got a lot of pieces moving, but we're trying to get all those
all right.
essentials kind of encompassed. In the
Do you have an
business.
opening date? Do we have something tentative?
It's a
on the
moving
schedule?
target.
It's a moving target,
I mean, at this point, my best guess would be probably early July.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Okay.
Yeah, early to mid July.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got a few hurdles to get over before we really have a great understanding.
Yeah,
of what we'll be open.
be on the lookout. I'm dropping something. This is a exclusive, but there's going to be this phenomenal video of a time lapse of the building being built.
Oh,
Right? I don't know. Do you know this?
He doesn't know about it.
I'm learning.
Surprise, Will.
Right here.
I'm gonna let you in. I'm gonna let you in on a little something here. I'm gonna let you in on a little something here. So I know this guy. He runs a media place, right? So he's setting up a GoPro, and he's gonna video every 5 minutes. He's gonna cut a video for 2 weeks as this construction is made and built, and then he's gonna put it together in a 3-minute video. He's gonna cut out the night portion. And this guy, Dave from Direct Line Media, is phenomenal. Does
He's all
wonderful
right.
stuff.
That's what I understand.
He's gonna do it, and then the video's awesome. I mean, I can't wait to see it. Dave,
Dave,
you're
that
the
sounds
man.
exciting, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
so Will.
super cool.
FYI, You're gonna have this really cool time lapse video.
Just please, like I'm gonna be in there like a bear half the time, like just throwing stuff around. So just yeah.
Cut him out.
Yeah. All right, cool. It was really an exclusive then.
That's exciting. I had no idea.
Yeah, tell him about it.
Yeah.
It's great for social media. Great for just seeing that progress being made. Those are cool videos too. It's very intriguing to watch.
It's meaningful to be able to come back and look at something and say, this is where we were, this is where we are. Whether it's 6 months, whether it's 2 weeks, whether it's whatever it is, just to be able to see the progress happen is for me. It's a it's an experience. It really is.
And also social media. Notice that you have like over 1,000 followers. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions? I'm at 488. Friends of Feeney nonprofit 488. You're over 1,000. You got any suggestions?
I would say know who you're targeting. Again, tying it back, make sure these relationships are meaningful. The real for me, the real aspect of what we're doing is we're finding people who are really interested in what we're doing.
I mean, you are selling beer and coffee.
That's where we're doing some hot ticket items.
I'm helping people in need. But
you know what? But that's almost the higher pursuit. So
true.
Congratulations on that. Thank you for doing it.
And then it can only happen with community members like yourself. So again, thank you for running this fundraiser. I know there'll be future fundraisers. And the support and the volunteering and just
If you're following us, get over on Feeney's page, give them a like, give them a follow, see what's going on.
Here we go. Thank you, Will.
But I think that's really a big part of it. I think it's really that's kind of what we're saying. We're going to work with you. We want to get to know you. We want you to be able to come in and not be just a generic partnership. So many of these things just kind of spiral out of control. I want to know your favorite beer style by the time you come in. I want to have that thing half poured when I see you walk in the door.
Norm.
And it's
I want to be Norm. I want to have my seat.
Well, exactly. There's really something to be said for that, and that doesn't. The world of profit, the world of money, the world of all of this gets so lost that we don't always tend to really focus on what's bringing in the revenue. And I'd rather recognize 80% of the faces who are showing up there than having. I want to see everyone come in. I'm not trying to say that, but I really want to know the people that are coming in. I want to have a real relationship with them, and that it's meaningful. You're coming in because Cody, me. You really want to engage with us and what we're doing and be a part of what we're trying to build. I think you're doing that with your podcasts. Like I said, I've really been enjoying them over the last couple of days. Really taking a listen. So it's been a great time. It really has been. So
that's really what we're about. Really creating this communal gathering place where you feel comfortable coming in, and maybe you haven't tried specialty coffee, or maybe you haven't tried an IPA or a Pilsner. So it's kind of really expanding like kind of your what you've tried, but also creating this community where really you can come any time of day, whether that's to meet someone in the morning or hang out with friends in the afternoon or evening for a beer. Like, it's really just creating this gathering place where people can hang out and really feel a part of the community and create the space that's just outside of your home or your work, or really right now just your home. So
are you gonna have Wi-Fi and like have people on the computer type spot?
We'll definitely have Wi-Fi. It's really.
And what are your hours going to be?
So we'll be open pretty much every day.
As many as they'll let us have. No, okay.
Obviously we can't serve alcohol and beer the whole time, but we'll be open from 7 a.m. until, depending on the day of the week, weekends 10 o'clock, Fridays, Saturdays. We'll be open 10 o'clock, but we'll be pretty much open every day for coffee 7 a.m. on.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I'm looking forward to it, and a lot of people are looking forward to it. Got a lot of buzz on the WeHa.com business buzz page.
Yeah.
I'm excited to meet you, Will. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And I appreciate our continued collaboration. Cody, you let me stop by the house to pick up some Life on the Mountains. You've hooked me up with the shirt. I love it. I'm gonna rock it with pride. So
I'm gonna get you a glass next.
I got the glass. I can't believe I forgot it.
The beer glass.
Yes.
we got tulips. So.
Oh yeah. You got tulips now, and they're curved for a reason.
Yes.
For the taste.
That's right.
Yeah. So I thank you so much. Any closing remarks? Take it away if you want something to share, and then I'm going to do a couple final shout-outs. But I cannot thank you. It was a wonderful conversation. Dave, 40 minutes with Feeney? 58 minutes with Feeney. We're here at WeHa Brewing and Roasting. Look at that font. That's good cursive right there.
Hey, it looks good on you, too. Like, it's like perfectly fit.
Medium.
Closing remarks for me, guys. We can't wait to be open. We can't wait to really have people in this space, see what we're about. Come up, talk with me, talk with Cody, talk with all the people that are going to be working with us. Get involved, be part of what we're doing, and really engage. We're willing to work and make beer that you want to drink, coffee that you want to drink, and really be a part of this community. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same sentiment as well. I'm really excited for us to open. I can't wait. Actually super excited to actually interact with my customers, and they've been drinking my coffee for the last year plus, and I've had zero interaction with them. So to actually see people like in the shop trying my coffee is what I'm looking forward to the most. And thank you for having us on. Thanks
Thank you
to Dave for putting this all together.
Yeah, see that construction video.
that is going to be exciting when you get to finally meet someone and they're going to be like, I love your...
I've been drinking this blend of coffee for blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. What made you think of all the areas of West Hartford? I know you have the Blueback, the Life on the Mountain.
So, I mean, we're WeHa, Brewing and Roasting. We're named after the town, so I wanted to bring as much connection to the town. And that's going to translate to the beer names. We haven't really talked about it much, but we'll have a series of beers that will be named after certain areas of town, certain
Can we rep
streets.
Elmwood? I mean, we're going to rep Elmwood? All right.
We had that be a flagship. I don't know.
We had the Elmwood blend. It's gone away for now, but it's coming back.
All right, awesome.
It'll be back.
Okay, got to rep Elmwood.
Yeah.
We got to rep all of WeHa. Very proud of WeHa and happy to be here. I teach in WeHa. I live in WeHa. I taught at the same school my daughters went to. It was a dream come true. I can't thank this community enough. I started a nonprofit. Again, I work with the Chamber of Commerce, and it's just I couldn't be more grateful for a community that I live in and work for, and just everyone's thoughtful and appreciative and generous. So it's great. And then speaking of which, final shout outs, Bridgewater Chocolate raffled off a 20-pound chocolate rabbit.
Whoa.
$5 a ticket. And we raised $315. So thank you, Bridgewater. They're on LaSalle. They're right next to Sock Stars. So if you want to shoot into Sock Stars, get some socks, go next door and get some chocolate. Congratulations. I don't know them. I practiced this. Cody, help me out. Zesler. The Zesler family. I'm jacking that up. The Zesler family won the 20-pound chocolate. So if anyone knows the Zeslers, how was that 20 pounds of chocolate? Thank you, Bridgewater, again. Thank you, We Care Computers. Avi donated 10 laptops. 10 desktops, 1 laptop. And we give them to students and families in need that need to do online learning. So again, this community, I have Nala's, we did a fundraiser. WeHa, this is still a continuing fundraiser. Bridgewater was generous. We Care Computers. Just again, the community cares. And recently in the New York Times did a whole article about coming to West Hartford. So we're getting big, West Hartford. It's all because of people like you, Will, and Cody, and Dave.
It's the beard.
And again, episode 16. We're almost close to 20. I can't thank Dave enough. This guy's the president of the design district. This guy's going to make a video that will have time lapse. He's going to incorporate my video of the WeHa coffee with my tasting and my expertise with the complexity and the taste.
Your slurp.
My slurp. And shout out again to Jill Lewis for making this connection. Wonderful podcast. I learned so much about beer and coffee. I've been drinking it for years, and I just got some knowledge and some information. So that was appreciative. Look out for episode 17. We're rolling here, Dave. You're the man. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Will. Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate it, Dave. Thank you. Excited.
You guys are awesome.